Thanks for downloading another segment from the Best of the Classic Metal Show. The Classic Metal Show is heard live on Saturdays from 9 p.m. to 3 a.m. Eastern, exclusively at www.theclassicmetalshow.com. And now here's another piece of Classic Metal Show history on the Best of the Classic Metal Show.
The Classic Metal Show.
From the album Conquer, that is the band known as Soulfly, a band which features the one, the only, the great Max Cavalera on vocals. That tune there was called Enemy Ghost, and as I just mentioned, on the phone right now we have the lead vocalist of Soulfly, Sepultura, and of course the Cavalera Conspiracy. It's the one, the only Max Cavalera. Max, how you doing, man?
Good, man. How you doing?
Excellent, Max. Well, man, the Soulfly train, and more to the point, the Cavalera train never seems to stop. You got to be the busiest guy in metal.
Keeping pretty busy, man. We just did some shows with Cavalera Conspiracy with my brother. We did some festivals over in Japan and Russia. I just got back last week. And going on tour with Soulfly in a little more than 2 weeks. A U.S. tour with Prong and Cattle Decapitation. Should be a pretty cool tour. We're looking forward to it.
Sure. Now, Max, I have to ask you, man, the timing of, I mean, everybody certainly, and I know you know this, everybody was very excited to see you and Igor kind of put things, you know, put the past in the past and get together and do a project. But the timing was very odd that the record came out, a month? There was like a month between the release of Conquer and the release of Cav Conspiracy. Why did it come out so close to each other?
Well, it was pretty much because I had both albums done,
Okay.
and it was like they were finished. And because I jumped right after the Cavalera Conspiracy, I jumped right into doing the new Soulfly, so there was not much time in between them. So they were released kind of close, but I kind of like that. You know, I think it was cool because like. It's kind of like when I did Nail Bomb. I released Nail Bomb and Sepultura Chaos AD almost at the same time.
Right.
So this was really similar to that. So there's a lot of music for the fans to simulate, but, you know, I think it's cool. I think they're good with that.
Sure. Well, the interesting thing with Cavalera Conspiracy was I think, I'm going to guess, and I'm probably not the first that said this to you, but I think probably every single fan of yourself or Igor or Sepultura expected when they heard that this record was coming out, they expected, all right, here comes Roots and Chaos AD again, and it really wasn't that at all. It was a different kind of a record, almost like you and Igor kind of purposely went out of your way to show your individual, you know, I guess roots instead of doing, you know, a Sepultura knockoff record. Does that make sense?
Yeah, you know, I think the album is pretty much, I think, me and Igor showing the sounds that we create, but also in a new way, you know, because not just copying the past. Like you said, not to do a Sepultura rip-off album. You know, I didn't want to do that, and Igor didn't want to do that either. So it's a new sound. So, you know, and with the help of Mark Rizzo and Joe from Gojira, it brought a lot of new things to the table too. I think some songs definitely you can hear a little bit of that Gojira influence on it, which I think is one of the cool new bands coming out right now.
Sure.
And so yeah, I think the album, it's got something new for the fans, you know, but it still got the same trademark Max and Igor that they expect. I think the aggression and the groove is definitely there.
Sure. Now, when you went out and did these shows with Igor, you know, did it feel like it did in the old days, or is it a whole new vibe, or what is the vibe? I guess even more to the point is, what is the relationship as well as the musical vibe with you guys? Because I mean, you guys did spend a lot of time, you know, not speaking to each other.
Yeah, I mean, the shows were awesome, man. You know, my relationship with Igor is really good, and the show is really aggressive. Okay. It's really energetic. Almost to the unbelievable point. Some people that has watched the show has commented it's like so brutal. One song after the other without no short space. it's different from Soulfly. Soulfly's got some gems in between that cools off
Right.
the speed. But Cavalera Conspiracy doesn't. It's just one brutal force. I'm just having fun with Igor, man. I like to look at him at the drums. I smile at him, I look at him and he gave me some looks back, and we're just really doing what we love. And it's great to see him like that. And because we're not going to do it too much, I think it's going to keep it special. It's like something that we're not going to overdo it.
Okay.
So there's going to be another album sometime in the future. I don't know when. But we're going to be careful not to overdo it. Just do it a little by little.
Absolutely. So I guess to answer the question that project brings up, Soulfly will continue to be your main focused band.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah, Soulfly is still my main band, and it will always be. I'm actually writing new stuff for the new Soulfly record right now at the moment. I'm putting aside some songs already.
Sure.
We're planning on entering the studio right after the U.S. tour.
Okay.
So we should have some new Soulfly music coming out next year, beginning of next year.
Sure. Now moving to Soulfly, Max, I especially liked Conquer just for the fact that it was so different than Dark Ages. I think a lot of people, including myself, really felt like Dark Ages was almost like your leap back to the Sepultura sound. I mean, even so far as to take songs like Arise Again, which obviously people are going to compare to Arise, but Dark Ages, while it had more of a Sepultura vibe, it seems like you really didn't want to do that again with Conquer, and Conquer is much more of a traditional Soulfly record. Did you feel that way?
Yeah, I think Conquer kind of goes a little, I think you're right, goes a little bit more back to Soulfly, back to the Soulfly vibe.
Okay.
And I think that was good for Soulfly. I think because of the trademark that Soulfly put on the planet, and I think we conquer a lot of fans throughout these years, and it's good to show them an album that's definitely Soulfly album, and I think it was cool. The new album, I don't know, it's in the making right now, so it's hard to tell what direction it's gonna go, but I think it's gonna continue where Conquer left up.
Excellent. Now, Max, I don't know if you saw this, but there was a book that came out 6-8 months ago now, the 100 greatest metal guitarists of all time, and you were listed in that list. Do you feel that you were justly listed as one of the top 100 guitarists in metal ever?
Playing with 4 strings, man, I don't know. I think that might be one of the reasons I'm kind of unique on my own category. Because of the fact that I play with 4 strings, and I'm strictly a rhythm player.
Right.
I'm glad to be part of the book. Don't get me wrong, but I don't know if I put myself between the best 100 in the world.
Right. You don't think if you wrote your own list, you'd put yourself in there somewhere?
I'll be 99.
Very cool, man. How about Mark Rizzo, though? Now, that guy is unbelievable of a player, huh?
Yeah, Mark's getting better and better, man. By the day, he pretty much sleeps with the guitar.
Sure.
and it shows. I mean, on every album that I've done with him, I think you can see the development of Mark coming to his own. I think I'm surprised he does not get more feature in more guitar magazine, but I think they're gonna pick it up on it. It's still time. That they're gonna realize the potential, because and even live, Mark live is a beast.
Right.
He moves and spins around and does kicks and but he doesn't miss a single note on a solo. It's pretty amazing. So I'm really glad to be playing with Mark. I think he's a great guy. Sure. And I'm glad to have him on board on Soulfly.
Absolutely, man. Now, Max, I want to ask you one other quick question. This is we've had this debate on our show many times with the fans, and one of the big things that everybody talks about when we're playing Sepultura or Soulfly or whatever is the impact on on the global world of heavy metal, not necessarily, the U.S. or just Brazil, but the impact that Sepultura had coming out of Brazil. And a lot of people take the stance of, you guys were the most influential band because you opened so many doors for metal guys all over the world. And I'll just tell you truthfully, I've always taken kind of the opposite stance. It wasn't that you guys necessarily opened the doors. It's just you guys were the very best that Brazil had to offer at the time. And really it always came down to good band versus not so good band. Which do you think it is for you, if either?
Well, I'm glad that people recognize Sepultura as that groundbreaking of a band. I'm glad to be part of it. That was a big part of my life, and we were definitely pioneers from Brazil, coming from that country, to bring out our sound, especially on Roots. I think it was completely unique. It was a unique album to make, and was very different from anything else out there.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm glad, man. I'm glad to be recognized like that. I think it was great. I hope more bands follow what we did, and it's good to be part of the movement.
Sure. When you listen back to albums like Roots, do you actually look at that as maybe the beginnings of what became Soulfly? Because if you listen to it, even songs like Roots, it really is the first time that you guys stepped away from the more traditional death metal sound and really stoked that more, I don't want to say hip-hop because that's not really correct, but a more bouncy, powerful metal sound, which Soulfly became. Do you think that's when you started, writing in that different direction?
Well, Soulfly definitely came out of there. Songs for like Eye for an Eye and Tribe, No Hope, No Fear. It's
right.
definitely influenced by Roots. I think it's coming out of that. But I think through the Soulfly journey, I think I went back and forth on the influences, and I brought some, like Dark Ages, I brought back a lot of the classic thrash sound, and some new stuff too. Soulfly also brought new things that I never done before, not even on Roots.
Right.
So, yeah, I think Roots helped it, made Soulfly what it is, definitely.
Sure. Well, last thing, Max, and I'm not going to get into the whole, I'm going to be the first interview you do where you don't say, hey, is there going to be a Sepultura reunion, because I already know the answer. But are you okay with the way everything is now, where you're in one camp and Igor's in a camp with you and those guys are off doing their own thing? Are you okay with that, or do you feel like maybe the reputation of Sepultura is not being taken care of now?
Well, it's not really up to me to say that, but I think, I left up to the fans to decide, and I think they are showing their feelings, because I don't think Sepultura is doing all that good these days. But, it's just like there's no original members. It's just kind of hard to believe in a band like that, because it's just like, everybody that was on it originally has left.
Right.
But like, what can I say? Like, I'm pleased with what I'm doing. Like, playing with Igor again is great, and the way Soulfly is coming together is great. So I just keep doing my thing,
Excellent. All right. Well, as we said, the album is called Conquer. It is Soulfly. There's also the Cavalera Conspiracy out there if you can't get enough Max Cavalera. And Max, before I let you go, I have to ask you what's known as the traditional classic metal show question. We've asked everybody on the last 5 years this, and we get a wide range of answers, so maybe you have an answer for this. How has Lemmy from Motorhead influenced your career?
Well, Lemmy baptized me once when I first met him in London in a pub. He dropped a whole glass of whiskey in my head because I would not leave him alone. I was bugging him so much, and I always thought that was my baptism into metal. I didn't wash my hair for like a week. I told everybody like, yeah, man, Lemmy drop a whole drink in my head. I don't know if he remembers that, probably not, but yeah, man, Lemmy is great. It's definitely one of the best icons of metal, and it's so good to have him around still playing and rocking, you know. So I just did a show in Europe where they were playing at the same gig, and I got to see a little bit of them. Felt really good that he's still rocking out.
Right on, man. Well, all right, Max. Well, as we said, the new album from Soulfly is called Conquer. There's also the Cavalera Conspiracy album, which is called Inflicted out there. And Max, as a tradition, we always let the artist pick a closing track. So what song would you like us to end the interview with, either from Soulfly or Sepultura or Cav Conspiracy or somebody else, or what would you like?
We can do Soulfly, Eye for an Eye.
All right, well, let's do it right here. This is Soulfly. It's Eye for an Eye right here on your Classic Metal Show.
Thanks for checking out the Best of the Classic Metal Show. You can tune into the Classic Metal Show live every Saturday night from 9 p.m. to 3 a.m. Eastern, exclusively at www.theclassicmetalshow.com.
The Classic Metal Show.